What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. I want to talk about some key levels to watch for as time goes on, and what's happening with another update involving the European Commission. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. Anyways, SPY is trying to hold the 540 area as our support. We did end up dipping and making a new low, exactly as we predicted. If 540 fails us, we're looking for 538 and 535 as our next support zones over here. And to be bullish, you want to see this get back above not only 545 but 550 for us to try to get some kind of bounce. So for now, we're looking a bit more bearish on SPY, and we could be actually dipping a little bit more. So please be very careful. And we'll have to see if this 540 area holds or not. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind, we also got our ISM services reports. The services PMI was relatively weak, showing some weakness in that sector. Business activity was also at 55.9 above expectations. However, employment and our new orders were kind of weak, not the best of signs. So very mixed data. Prices did go down a bit, so that's decent. But for the most part, very mixed data with some, I would say, a little bit more bad than good that came out from that report. That's part of why the market dipped alongside reactions to the tariffs. So President Trump imposed more tariffs on all these different countries. As a result of these tariffs, he claims that they're reciprocal tariffs, but different countries have different views, and many of them are arguing they want to retaliate, and that's also leading to a lot more fear, at least right now. So, what's happening? We got this update from the European Commission. Let me be very biased when I say what I'm about to say. The EU Commission is saying that they charge an average tariff of just 1% on US products entering the EU, considering the actual trade in goods. And then they claim that they collected about 7 billion euros of tariffs on EU products in 2023, compared to the EU's 3 billion on US products. So that's very important because they're arguing that they don't charge that much and that President Trump's numbers are not correct. However, when you actually look at this source, when you look at the numbers, if you look at the deficit between them and then you use a formula, you could actually get a tariff rate of 37.2%, which is still below what President Trump was talking about. So, but that depends on how you look at things, which kinds of formulas you use, excuse me, and etc. So keep that in mind, right? So President Trump's argument is that the EU charges 39%, so he's going to charge them 20%. But they're arguing that they actually charge much less than that, and the formula is just very, very unconventional. So it goes both ways, right? One side is saying this, the other side is saying that, and that is once again fueling tensions. But the problem with this is that the EU claims that the numbers aren't correct, and that's why they're willing to, and they really want to retaliate now. So that's very interesting. They want to charge the US more again, and I have to wait and see what President Trump says about this, or if he is going to try to negotiate. So we'll see, just to be safe. And I just want to make it very clear, I'm not saying anyone's right or wrong. I'm just trying to tell you guys what these people are saying. So the best thing to do is just wait and see how it goes. It's possible that President Trump's numbers are not correct, or they could be closer to the truth if you account for trade barriers. It's also possible that the EU could be correct, or maybe even incorrect, if they don't account for everything, such as like the deficit and such. So I'm not here to say this person's right, this person's wrong, this is that. I'm not here to say that, guys. I'm not calculating everything. I just want to say that the EU think that they're right, and they think that President Trump is wrong and his administration. President Trump's administration would argue that the EU are wrong, that he's correct, right? So that's what's leading to tensions, and that's why the EU is now saying they want to retaliate. So not the best of news, at least so far, as this trade war is continuing. But like I said before, we'll see if we see some kind of negotiations that go by, and we'll see what that leads to. So please keep that in mind. That's going to be very important, at least for the market moving forward. I also want to add that we have China doing essentially the same thing. They, told President Trump to just get rid of the tariffs or else. So we'll see how that goes as well. I saw some news about that. My point is, there's a lot of tensions right now. A lot of countries are arguing, and we'll see what that leads to. Can they negotiate? Is this going to lead to something different? We'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so anyways, about the market, okay? With all this, tariff nonsense, keep in mind we have this 540 area acting as support on SPY now. We'll have to see if that holds or not. And if we could reclaim 545, we could attempt some kind of rebound, not to mention 550. For now, I'm looking for us to trade between 540 and 545, and we'll see which way we break for now. We did dip all the way down to 540, and if it does fail us, I'm looking for 538 to 535. It's possible we go a little bit lower, but I just want to say that we have to see if 540 holds. And then eventually we're going to get a nice bounce soon. We're not ready yet, but I think eventually it's going to come. So watch us trade between 540 and 545 for the time being. If we lose 540, we could go a little bit lower, but then I do think that we could be bouncing between 540 to 535 overall. And for confirmation, you want to see us reclaim like 550. If that's the case, we're looking for a bounce. On the QQQ, the same thing's essentially going on. We're dipping a little bit more. We're looking for this 451 area. So if that does not hold, we could be dipping to about 448. But between 444 and 450 is where we should be looking for a strong support. I would like to see us reclaim 462 to bounce. We haven't done that yet, so we're stuck between 460 and 450, basically flats in that range. We're actually looking weaker than SPY as a result of big tech selling off. So we'll see if we reclaim 462 to bounce or not. Otherwise, we're still looking kind of weak here. So we'll see if 450 holds. On the IWM, we're actually at this 190 area. We also have 188 as our main support. So we'll see if 188 to 190 holds. We got to reclaim 195 to bounce. Otherwise, we look a little bit more bearish. ES is technically on a downtrend, so we're looking for essentially this 54 50 areas, our main supports. If that fails us, we could be dipping to the much lower 5400s. I also want to see us reclaim around 5550 for this thing to really bounce. Otherwise, we're still in a range between 5500 and 5450. So I think we trade sideways for now. We'll see if we reclaim 5550 to bounce. Otherwise, we're still kind of stuck, still showing some weakness. NQ touched this or came very close to touching the blue trend line near 18,675. If we could reclaim 19,000, it could try a rebound, but it's still looking kind of weak. So be prepared for us to possibly retest the low before it tries to bounce. Bitcoin is showing some weakness. We could be looking for an 81,000 retest. If it fails, it's going to be turning even more bearish. Nvidia is making new lows. We're going to be looking to see if 100 holds or not. So it might be dipping closer to that before we see some buyers try to defend. For Tesla, we're showing some weakness. We're looking for essentially 262 to hold. I want to see it get back above like 267 for it to try to push back up. Otherwise, we're range bound between 267 and 262, kind of going back and forth for now. So we'll have to see how that goes, at least moving forward. For Apple, we got this big rejection. We're looking for the support down here. So we're looking for 202 and then 200 to see if these levels hold. And then we also want to reclaim like 212 to bounce. So I'm still seeing some weakness on the chart. For Coinbase, we're looking like we're kind of weak. You're getting a big rejection. So we could be dipping back down to 163, and we'll see if that holds or not. Otherwise, I'm looking for a little bit more downside. So watch 163. It might be retested, and we'll see if we bounce. We got to reclaim 175 to bounce. For Amazon, we're showing weakness. We came all the way down to about 177. I was talking about 180 as my target. It came a little bit below that. So we need to reclaim 186 for us to have some hope for a bounce. Watch this support. The low of the day could be retested between 177 and 175, and we'll see if we get a rebound. Meta's on a downtrend. We need to get back above 560 to bounce. We're looking for support around 540 and 535, and we'll see how that goes. I would like to see us reclaim 560. Otherwise, we're still looking a bit more bearish. For Microsoft, we're trying to hold 368 to 370. If we hold that, we're looking for a bounce back above 380. If 380 is reclaimed, it's going to try to rebound. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. We're looking for support near 370 to hold for now, and I hope it does. Google came all the way down to about 150, a little bit above that. So we'll see if 150 is where we base. If we lose 150, we can remain bearish, but if we could base around here, it's very possible we try to bounce back up. If 158 is reclaimed, then I think that we will be looking like we were trying to bounce. Otherwise, watch the range between 158 and 150. For now, it's possible we go a little bit lower, but I think that we're going to be forming a base, and we're just waiting to see if we can base, and then we're going to be looking for a nice rebound. The VIX pumped quite a bit, but now it's starting to slow down. Can we eventually lose 25 to start filling this gap if the market wants to bounce? I don't think we're ready yet, but as time goes on, I do think that buyers will try to defend, especially as buyers are defending 540 on SPY. So we'll just have to see how that goes. Anyways, that is it for my video. I thank you all for listening. The market still has weakness, yes, but I think there's some signs we're trying to base. SPY should try to base between 540 and 535, hopefully, but we'll see just to be safe. Okay, so watch your levels, and once we base, we're going to be looking for a rebound soon. Thank you for listening. Have a good one, and we'll see what happens with the news. Obviously, the tensions continue between the US and these other countries and other areas like the EU. So we'll see how it goes. Give it the market some time, and we'll see how things perpetuate. And I wish you all the best. Thank you for listening, and peace out.